Welcome to TnT Strong News. Weston and Taryn here, coming to you live from the studio with the first sports we've seen in 2 months since COVID-19.
We were challenged to do 1,000 weighted step-ups, and we figured this would be a great time to talk to you about mental toughness. But first, let's check in with the athletes and get started.
Hey TnT Strong, welcome to another episode. Today we are still training for Mount Whitney, but we wanted to get a little bit of work done on mental toughness.
So why not do 1,000 weighted step-ups?
Let's get going.
Wow, I don't know about you, Weston, but doing 1,000 reps of anything in a row is both physically and mentally testing. However, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable is the key to reaching your goals, because at some point during that path, you'll likely have to do something different or make a new change. That reminds me of my favorite quote by Fred DeVito. It's, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
We think of mental toughness as your resolve not to quit. This is critical to achieving difficult goals because change is difficult. And if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Mental strength is like physical strength. You have to develop it. You do this by starting with smaller tasks and build those smaller tasks up to get to those mental gains. A book that hits on this pretty well is How Bad Do You Want It by Matt Fitzgerald. One point it speaks about is embracing the pain. So the more discomfort you expect, the more you can tolerate and prepare for mentally.
Speaking of discomfort and pain, let's check in with the athletes and see how they are embracing the pain.
$300.
Whoa. 300 team. I want to take a knee. So, one of the things we're working on, catching our breath, is mental toughness. But one of the things you can't hear because we're going to speed this clip up, but we don't have any music playing. And that's a big thing. Some venues allow music, some don't. So if you train with music, that can end up being something that handicaps you during your events. So back to you in the studio. Let's talk some more about that.
What I think Weston was trying to say is wearing headphones during events is a safety hazard and aren't always allowed. So training without music can help you prepare more mentally for those events. Thanks, Weston, for that little bit of information. Now let's head over to Weston in the studio for some SMART goals.
Thanks, Taryn. So let's go over what SMART means. It's an acronym, and the S stands for specific. So specific is adding detail to your goal. It's not just a bland blanket statement. You're putting some description in the goal so you have details and understanding of how, who, what, when, where, and why. The M stands for measurable. Measurable is usually some type of number. So if you want to run a mile in under 8 minutes, or if you want to be able to do 10 push-ups, there's some type of line that you've drawn with a number. Under that is not meeting your goal. Hitting that number or being over it is achieving your goal. The A stands for attainable. With your goals being attainable, I want them to still be difficult. They should be challenging. They even should be audacious, but they should be possible. Nothing is more discouraging than setting a goal that is just absolutely impossible. So you need to be real with yourself and understand what is possible in the amount of time that you're giving yourself. R stands for relevant. So a goal being relevant means that it ties in with your other big picture goals. So for us, this 1,000 weighted step-ups ties in perfectly with climbing Mount Whitney. It's a small stepping stone into that bigger goal. And T stands for timely. Timely is usually some type of deadline. You're picking a date, a certain amount of days from today moving forward, something like that that's giving yourself a due date when you want to accomplish your goal. It can add a little bit of stress, but usually will help keep you motivated. So let's go back to Taryn and finish this up.
Okay, team. So 600 reps in. some kind of strategies we've been using today, especially to help with kind of the boringness of just stepping up and down, some more of the mental toughness. We make smaller goals for ourselves. We focus on the smaller goals. So we'll do 100 reps at a time, get to that 100, take that break, we move on to that next 100. We don't focus on that end goal of just trying to get to 1,000. We break it up into smaller, attainable goals. And at the end, we're done and we've hit 1,000. So back to you, team.
Great idea, Taryn. Let's briefly go through SMART goals for this workout.
So for specific, we're doing 1,000 weighted step-ups, no more or no less.
For the M, measurable, we did 1,000 reps and we also had a specific weight that we were carrying. This goal is a little bit unique in the fact that the specific and the measurable are kind of the same, but normally the measurable would be somehow you're either passing or failing, you're accomplishing your goal or you're not.
A, attainable. Yes, we are both physically fit and well trained to get through 1,000 weighted step-ups. While this still being a challenge for us, here we need to make sure you're being realistic with yourself during this step.
The R, relevant, ties in perfectly with us training to climb Mount Whitney. 1,000 weighted step-ups, we're going to do many more than that climbing up that mountain.
And in T, timely. This was not something that we set out to accomplish or complete throughout the day. Our goal was to be around an hour or less.
Going back to what Taryn spoke about at the break, breaking your large goals up into smaller stepping stones, for example on this workout, sets of 100 reps instead of focusing on the whole 1,000 the whole time, can help you feel successful and staying motivated. A book that I recently finished titled Grit by Angela Duckworth really speaks about mental toughness and determination, and I would recommend it. Finding your inner motivation or your why you want to accomplish certain goals can help you stay motivated when you want to quit while you're trying to reach those goals. Comment below and let me know what your motivation is or what your goals are.
Hey Weston, looks like our athletes are closing in on that 1,000 rep mark. Let's cheer them on as they finish their last few steps.
One more.
All right, Tnt Strong. We just finished 1,000 weighted step-ups. I know back in the studio we're talking about mental toughness. One of the things that gets me through a workout like this is remembering why I'm doing it. So I want to be really successful up in Mount Whitney in a couple weeks. And doing this workout, I wanted to quit about 200 reps in, but I finished that 1,000 because I know it's going to make me more likely to be successful climbing Mount Whitney. So it's worth it. It's worth the pain now. Time to go get in some recovery. Back to you.
That was awesome. As we wrap up this sporting event, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you all next time for another episode here at TnT Strong News. Have a great one, guys.